technology has been moving in a way that nothing else people have ever known.
Greetings, Special Centurions, and welcome, YouTube warriors, to the succession of changing kings. This is a Choices Matter kingdom ruling simulation game in which you play as a newly... you're the heir to the crown, to the throne. And I believe the king dies and you have to take his place. But there are 4 other factions that are like... they consider you to be a threat, that want to try and take you down. There's the peasants, the aristocrats, the church, and the army that you have to try and juggle and balance and keep everyone happy while they're all backbiting and planning assassinations and murderizing each other. It's kind of similar to Yes, Your Grace, where they're all trying to kill you in different ways. It looks really cool. It's in early access. It's just dropped on Steam at the start of February. And yeah, I'm super excited to be playing it. So let's dive in and start a new game. It is permadeath, and there's a lot of RNG in it, where there's a lot of... you make a choice and there's a percentile chance of the outcome being negative or positive or being fatal. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty interesting. I'm not sure if it's entirely for me, what with it being permadeath, but I wanted to check it out. The developer is working on releasing easier modes that have save options. As it is at the moment, there is no save option. It just carries on, and if you die, you have to start over. So we'll see how far we get. There's like 100 turns in it, and over, I think, something like 800 events and 40 deaths that can occur. So we're going to go as Caesar, and we're going to try and survive.
Covered with the dust of oblivion, 5 kings are mentioned, each of whom reigned for no more than 444 days. This was the exact amount of time needed for each contender to complete the path to coronation, a peculiar tradition rooted in the sacred texts. This period became known as the succession of changing kings. A once prosperous kingdom had withered into a decaying fiefdom. Fields that had yielded bountiful harvests were now overgrown with weeds. Trade caravans had all but vanished, and the finest of its people had abandoned their homeland in search of a better future. Few dared to hope that you, the last of an ancient dynasty, would succeed.
Sorry guys,
in
just
breaking
turning
this
up the
vicious
volume
cycle.
a bit.
The wise.
Oh, I skipped it. Damn it. I was turning up the
hall
volume.
was cloaked in dim light, with the flickering glow of the fireplace casting long shadows on the walls, lending the surroundings an air of mystery. You stood by the massive window, gazing out at the distant hills. Your thoughts drifted between past and future, fears and hopes intertwining. Faint footsteps echoed in the corridor. The heavy door opened soundlessly, and Adrian the Holloway entered the room. Of course, you had heard of him. His silver hair and trimmed beard gave him the appearance of a wise figure from ancient legends. The steward paused at the threshold, regarding you with a look of respect tinged with subtle sorrow. "Your Grace," he began softly, his voice smooth and warm like velvet spreading through the room. "Allow me to offer my congratulations on your ascension to the throne. I am Adrian I. Holloway, your steward and henceforth your loyal servant. I am here to assist you in this trying hour."
Okay, cool. So 2 things. Firstly, sorry I skipped the intro. As I said, I was trying to turn the volume up a bit because the voice is really quiet, and when I click back into the game, it skipped the intro. Secondly, it's fucking awesome that this is voice acted. This is read out for us, so I don't have to strain my voice reading through pages and pages of dialogue. So that's cool. Also, why is there an I in this guy's name? Adrian I. Holloway. Why not just Adrian Holloway? It's weird. But yeah, we've got a steward. Cool. What do we do? I'm ready, or do we...
The hall was cloaked
No,
in
that
dim
replays
light.
it. Tutorial 1 out of 4. I guess I'm ready. Yeah.
A faint, barely perceptible smile flickered across Adrian's lips as he gestured toward the table, where a map of the kingdom lay spread out. "Let us start with the fundamentals," he began. "Here on this map are all the lands of our kingdom. Every region, every village, every forest, and every river. This is your kingdom, and you must know it as well as the back of your hand." Adrian's long, graceful fingers glided over the map, bringing its features to life with each motion. "You rule not just over the land, but over its people," he continued, his tone taking on a sterner edge. "Every soul, from the humblest peasant to the mightiest noble, looks to you for justice and wisdom. But understand this: justice is a concept that varies from one person to the next, and sometimes wisdom demands actions that seem to defy justice. Equally vital is maintaining a respectable level of the kingdom's defense. The lower it falls, the more pirates, bandits, and unscrupulous neighbors will seek to exploit it. A weakened healthcare invites epidemics and disease. Threats no fortress walls, no matter how strong, can keep at bay." You listened intently, your expression growing grave as the weight of your duties began to settle upon you. Justice and wisdom. You had never been prepared to bear such responsibilities as a ruler. Adrian noticed your unease, and with a gentler tone, offered reassurance. "Do not worry, Your Majesty. I'm here to assist you. We shall take small steps. Each day, choose 1 or 2 tasks I have marked on the map, and act according to where your heart and reason guide you."
Okay, guys, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm actually going to turn it up a bit more. Just because it's really quiet here for me. That's a bit better. Lance, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Happy Sunday to you. Seems clear enough. Okay, now that that's gone, we can go to the settings. Let's turn the music down a little. A little more. Is it that time again for murder and mayhem? No, I'm the ruler of a kingdom, my friend. How dare you insinuate such a thing? I would never cause murder and mayhem intentionally. It's time for ruling and decisions, and choices matter, kind of like Yes, Your Grace. But where people are trying to assassinate you around every corner and every turn. Yeah, it's beautiful. It looks really nice. Can you zoom in? You can zoom in. Cool. Yeah, it's nice. It's colourful and bright. I like it. Day 1 out of 444. So we have to survive 444 days. We've got 5 initiative, whatever that means. 4 health, 4 defense. Commoners a question mark. Army, I guess this is your affiliation or reputation or whatever with each of the 4 factions I described earlier. You've got the commoners, the peasants that work in the fields. The army, the military, which go into combat for you. The aristocracy that stick their noses up at everything and pay lots of taxes, and the church, the God-loving, noble church, as we all know and love. So I guess we're just going to click here because this is the next part of the tutorial. We've got a tavern, a king's hall, and a throne hall there as well. Oh, Lance, by the way, how's the sound? Is the because I was fiddling around with the sound settings. Is the volume better now? Can you hear the voice?
The steward led you through the narrow corridors of the castle,
music.
past ancient tapestries and stone arches.
Music sounds good.
You stopped before a massive door adorned with intricate carvings. Adrian produced a key that he always carried and opened it. He guided you to a large writing desk made of dark wood, where neatly arranged project cards were laid out. Here is a list of potential projects for construction and people you may consider hiring, sire, he explained, gesturing toward the scrolls. Oddly enough, despite the succession of changing kings, the castle's vaults still hold a decent stockpile of gold. There is also a fair amount of stone, timber, and ore in the storerooms. But your time is limited, and these resources must be spent wisely. Use your royal initiative prudently. It is your most critical resource. He paused, allowing you to absorb the gravity of his words. You must decide whether to repair the heavily worn fortress walls or to strengthen the royal guard. Perhaps it's better to provide work for the commoners, so they don't idle about aimlessly. Do you enjoy good health? Adrian's gaze shifted to you with a hint of concern. Because there are no physicians left in the castle. The last city doctor departed for Thorn a week ago, right after your predecessor's funeral. Adrian sighed, his tone lowering and becoming more serious. I bring this up because King Radwin, whom the people mockingly called Radwin Forgive Me Please, humiliated the commoners to such an extent that they hung him in the town square.
That was quite a reaction.
And King Gilbert the Glutton fared no better.
King Gilbert the Glutton.
His appetite led to his demise. He died at the dining table. Rumor has it he was poisoned, though no proof was ever found. Adrian's gaze swept over the study. Every decision you make will shape the fate of this kingdom, sire, and affect how your subjects perceive you. Should the favor of any of the 4 influential factions, the commoners, the army, the aristocrats, or the church, fall to critical levels, the consequences will be dire. As of today, you likely have no idea who supports or opposes you. Hiring an informant would be a wise first step.
Voice is a bit muffled, but that is the game itself. Nothing you can do because of the stuffy British, maybe Southern Wales accent. The kind that looks down their nose while talking to you. Yeah, he's the kind of person who talks through the nasal passage. It's very stuffy and nosy. But yeah, as long as you can hear it, that's the main thing. Brilliant. I'll think about it. Oh shit!
Adrian led you further through the corridors.
I didn't...
Eventually arriving
whatever.
at the throne hall, a modest room with walls adorned by banners and a single throne standing against the stone wall. Sire, this is the throne hall, Adrian began, gesturing toward the throne. Here is where you will make swift decisions, pass judgment, and hear reports. He fixed you with a serious look, emphasizing the gravity of his next words. Before you end your day, remember to visit me here in the throne hall, Adrian continued. News often arrives by the end of the day, along with urgent matters requiring your judgment. This is crucial to keeping your finger on the kingdom's pulse. You nodded, understanding the significance of this ritual. Adrian took the cue to proceed. Once you have attended to matters in the throne hall, you may retire for the night, and the next day will begin. It's vital to hold out for 444 days, as many forces will try to thwart you. Those uninterested in the kingdom's prosperity, those seeking their own gain, external enemies, and internal conspirators. Adrian paused, giving you time to absorb his words, then added with quiet conviction, "And don't dismiss the curse of ill fortune, even if you don't believe in destiny. Stay vigilant, sire, and may Lumen's light guide you."
May Lumen's light guide us to victory. Septonia, welcome to the stream, mate. How you doing? Long time no see. So if let's get started. And okay. So that's the tutorial, guys. That's the underlining principles of the game. Let's go to the King's Hall first. And he asked me to. He said it to hire an informant, didn't he? Informer, not enough inns. Okay. So you can't even hire an informer at the moment because you don't have an inn. So we need to build an inn first. Did he say that? I don't think he did. 12. 12 what? 12 turns? 12 initiative? Just says 12. The inn near the castle is a hub of activity where travellers gather to share stories and forge connections over a hearty drink. Not enough initiative. Required 12. Okay. Plus 1 initiative every turn. Okay, so this is how much initiative required to build the building. I'm going to turn that music down a little more because it's so loud in my ear. It's going to drive me crazy. I think that will do. Nice to find another stream. Nice to have you back, my friend. Good to see you again. In the place you can get STDs and only guess who you got them from the next week. Yeah, you don't know if you're going to get STDs from the bar wench, from the flagons of ale you're drinking, from the tables, just the atmosphere in general. I think chlamydia can be passed in the air. I'm not sure, but I don't want to test the theory by going to one of these inns and ending up with it. Okay, so we can't actually get an informer that he suggested we get. What's in the throne hall? Kablow! Okay. Do I click on each of these or nothing? No. Okay. And then next turn, well, we've obviously got like... He said to do 2 things that I suggest for you on the map each time. So these are obviously all the things we can click on and do in our turn. Probably the food, yeah. Nice artwork. Yeah, it's really beautiful, the game. I really like the look of it. The aesthetic is really good. So there's no saddest story in the world. Matters of the port. Lost in the woods. A smelly affair. 3 eyes. And romantics of the high ground. What is going on? What the fuck happened there? Someone just got stabbed. I hope it wasn't me. Let's go with a smelly affair because it sounds hilarious. Oh, I see. As you hover over them, they make sound. So that's the person who got stabbed. Okay. Well, I think we're going to do these 2. There's no saddest story in the world and a smelly affair. Because they just sound really funny. So we'll go with the smelly affair first.
A smelly affair.
A smelly affair.
You were leisurely traveling along a countryside road between the capital and the Bay of Storms, avoiding the main route. For safety and to learn more about the country, you chose this less traveled path. Even in these remote areas, life thrived, albeit at a slower pace. Small streams and brooks crisscrossed the road, giving it a scenic yet mysterious charm. The water in one of the rushing streams emitted a sharp, unpleasant odor, indicating that upstream lay either a tannery or a smeltery. The source of the stench turned out to be a tannery, owned by a local aristocrat named Elgar Riverton. This workshop processed leather for use in armor and equipment for the army, but the water used in the process became completely unfit for drinking or irrigation. When you arrived, you found Riverton loudly arguing with a group of peasants. Spotting you, both the aristocrat and the villagers turned to their king for judgment. Elgar Riverton, not without reason, declared, "I am operating on my land. The village is downstream, and it is their problem if the water is polluted." The villagers, with bitterness in their voices, countered, "We have lived here for generations. These lands are precious to us, and leaving means abandoning our heritage. The polluted water is killing our fields and leaving us without drinking water." You understood that the future of the entire village was at stake. The decision required wisdom and fairness to balance the rights of the aristocrat, the needs of the army, and the demands of the peasants who had cultivated this land for centuries.
Bloody peasants! Always causing problems. You'd love for me to voice act the stuff you write. Oh, thanks, Lance. That's quite a compliment. I appreciate that. I do actually enjoy voice acting quite a lot, or just like playing different characters and things like that. Very calming game. I see loads of text. Yeah, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. I couldn't be more grateful for the fact that it's all it's all read aloud for you, so I don't have to read through it, pages and pages of text and kill my voice. I couldn't be more grateful of that. So thank you, developers, for putting in the time and funding for getting someone to read it for us. So, our decision. What is there to think about? Let the peasants pack up and leave. What, the entire village? The factory must be shut down immediately. Protecting the environment and citizens' lives comes first. These are blacked out for some reason. Okay. It tells you why. So, let the army help the peasants relocate, and Elgard Riverton will compensate them for their property. The factory will remain operational. So we have to increase our relationship with the aristocracy before we can do that. Or we could order the masonry guild to build a new village nearby in a location chosen by the peasants. But we need a masons guild for that. That's a shame. That would be the best solution. That would be the best solution. As it is, I think we're going to have to side with the peasants here, guys. Greta Thunberg would be happy with option 2. Yeah, well, I think we're going to go for option 2, to be honest, as well. By the way, it is an AI voice, so actually no need to hire someone. This AI voice is used in a lot of places. Yeah, I thought it was AI. Yeah, even then, just the fact that they've taken they've considered putting AI into reading it aloud for us is cool. A lot of games don't bother doing that. So yeah, I think we're going to go for the factory must be shut down immediately. Still very nice. Yeah, absolutely. I can't make an entire village pack up and leave. It doesn't even give them an option of where they're going to go. It just says pack up and leave. Just get the fuck out of here, you filthy peasants. Their entire village has been there for generations, and then this one bozo decides to start poisoning the river with his business. We're going to have to get rid of his business. Sorry, factory's being shut down. Get out of here, you plebs. Lance, you wouldn't last a second as king for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Oh.
The aristocrats' furious outcry was drowned out by a thunderous "Hail to King." However, the joy diminished when you received letters from high-ranking military officials complaining about uniform shortages, as well as a terse note from Eleanor and Vinchel, representing the aristocracy. She made it clear that this approach would not win you friends among the nobles.
Oh, friends among the nobles, eh? I don't care about you nobles. I like that my peasant is a common folk. I'm a man of the people, chat. So I got plus 0.5 health, minus 0.5 defense, presumably because the military don't have uniforms. Plus 2 with the commoners, minus 1 with the army, minus 2 with the aristocrats. Okay. Our first decision, chat. I don't know why these are in question marks. It doesn't tell you anything. It just says question mark. Okay. There's no saddest story in the world.
There is no sadder story in the world. The cattleman's alley was bathed in the light of the setting sun when tragedy struck, shaking the peace of the capital. Two noble houses, the E. Montecu and the I. Calapeto families, whose names were always on the lips of the city's high society, clashed in a deadly confrontation. The feud between these families had roots that stretched back through the ages, but this time it ended in heartbreak. Young Tibor in Calapeto, a fiery youth with pride ablaze in his eyes and heart, challenged Mercurio y Montecu to a duel. Their clash, like a bolt of lightning, unfolded before the astonished citizens. What began as heated words soon escalated into desperate blows. Before anyone could intervene, Tibor's blade pierced Mercurio's chest.
Oh, blimey.
The blood of the young y Montecu streamed onto the cobblestones, mingling with the dust, forming patterns as if an invisible artist painted a final masterpiece. Mercurio's last words were filled with bitterness and curses, echoing across the hushed square. The old feud reignited with new fury, like a spark igniting dry straw. The Y Montecu family, stricken with grief and rage, demanded justice, calling for Tibor to face harsh punishment. The I. Calapetos, on the other hand, claimed the duel was fair, and that Mercurio's death was nothing more than a tragic but rightful conclusion to the conflict.
Eye for an eye, Lance, you reckon? Should we execute Tibor then? It wasn't my eye he cut out. Imprison Tibor in the dungeon for 10 years with no chance of early release. That's a really harsh punishment. Jeez. So's the execution. But yeah, 10 years in prison with no chance of early release. Let the I. Calapetos pay the Montecu family gold equal to the weight of the deceased. By the way, was he a big fellow? I recuse myself. Shall I recuse myself, chat? I'm going to recuse myself from every decision and just sit there on the throne eating everything I want to eat and sleeping with anyone I want to sleep with and telling everyone to do stuff until they stab me in the back, which will probably be about a week from now. It's equal. It's equal punishment. Well, hang on. I want to see. I just want to read this again. The feud between these families and roots... Firing with the Peasant's heart. Challenged. Okay. So Tibor challenged Mercurio to a duel. So it doesn't say if... Obviously he accepted. Their clash like a bolt of lightning unfolded before the astonished citizens. What began as heated words soon escalated into desperate blows. So it sounds like he accepted the duel. 10 gold? You think he's only worth 10 gold? Wouldn't that just like piss them off even more? We're like, here's a penny for your dead son. I don't think we should execute him because he challenged them to a duel and he was obviously accepted. In this day and age, this like noble dueling and stuff is, yeah. I think we go with the gold situation. It was an honourable duel. Oh wait, what's this? Let Countess Evinshell decide the matter. We need to increase our relationship with the aristocracy before we can do that. Yeah, I think we'll pay the gold. Yeah, let's go with that. Your behavior resembled that of a tribal chief, but was there truly a better option? Oh.
But was there truly a better option?
So I lost another point with the aristocracy and whatever this is. Oh, I lost initiative. Okay. I don't know why I lost initiative, but alright. The throne room awaits. Can I build anything here? Nothing. I don't think I have any enough initiative to do anything here yet. No, I don't. Okay. Right, let's go to the throne room.
Stingy and even stingier.
Stingier.
In the early days of your reign, news arrived of
Good old AI.
Garpagon, a notorious miser aristocrat and possessor of untold wealth. His name was synonymous with greed and hoarding, and even in his final days, he remained true to his principles. Having no direct heirs, his many relatives eagerly awaited the chance to claim the vast fortune hidden within the depths of his desolate mansion. However, Egarpagon's will proved a fitting epitaph to his life of stinginess. In his final decree, he ordered, "My wealth shall go to no one. Bury it with me."
Oh, wow.
This command caused a wave of outrage and debate, and the matter was brought before you as the supreme arbiter, with the hope that you would bring justice to such an absurd situation.
Oh, dear. So load up on this miser's treasure and send it straight to the royal treasury. Do he just steal his inheritance, all the money that he leaves? Or he's not leaving it, all the money that he grew or earned over his lifetime. Despite his wealth, distribute his wealth equally among his noble relatives. Donate it to the construction of a new monastery for Lumen. Well, that's obviously the church option. I have read reports about issues with fortifications and soldier housing at the distant outposts. Let the money be used for the kingdom's safety. Use the miser's fortune to... I love the fact that they refers to him as a miser from our point of view. That's really cool. Use the miser's fortune to fund celebrations in every city and village. Let the people rejoice. It doesn't actually give you an option to let him be buried with it. It doesn't give you the option to allow him to fulfill his final decree. Straight to the royal treasury, says Lance. I think everyone would kill me immediately. They wouldn't even stab me in the back. They'd just rush me and like beat the shit out of me. Jeez. I think we're gonna go with the fortifications. So it's pretty obvious what each of these do. So Royal Treasury will give us loads of money, or initiative, I guess, in this case. Distributing the wealth among the nobles will be the aristocracy positive. Monastery will be the church. The military will be the army. And this will be the commoners. So the question is, who do we want to increase our rep with? I think I've pissed off the aristocracy enough. I think if I do anything but give it to the aristocracy, they're definitely going to murder me in the next like 2 turns. So I'm going to distribute his wealth equally among his noble relatives.
The new ruler is kind and just. Though your treasurer vehemently disagreed, the aristocracy warmly approved your decision.
Your treasurer vehemently disagreed. Lance, are you my treasurer? I think you are. The butler's advice.
The butler catches you poring over documents belonging to your predecessors, the previous Dauphin. Much of what you have read today could only be described as drivel, such as Gilbert the Glutton's 76 donut recipes or Magnus the Heretic's annotated chess games. However, a significant portion was penned by Sigurus the Recluse, perhaps the most accomplished of the changing kings. He was only 4 days shy of coronation. You stretch lazily, allowing your still young bones to creak like those of an elder. Your Majesty, Adrian the Firmer Holloway begins, his tone reverent but firm. May I offer some advice? Everyone is eagerly awaiting a sign of your favor. Countess Ivinchel, Holy Father Lumiel, and General Bardarian have already arrived in the capital. It is widely believed that the first audience granted by a new ruler signals where their loyalties will lie. You recall your conversation with the butler yesterday and decide to probe further. And if my Majesty were to show favor to the common folk, who should I meet with? For a moment, the all-knowing Adrian freezes, caught off guard. Then he recovers and answers. Sir, that is somewhat unconventional, as the common folk have no formal representative. However, I suppose you could forego meeting the 3 high-ranking figures and instead visit the nearest village. Such an act would send a very clear message.
That would be such a snub if I was just like, piss off, I'm going to the local village. This is a local village for local people. I love the artwork. It's quite Disney-ish, actually. He looks like a Disney villain or Disney prince or something. These people are also petty. It's like, meet with me first or you'll insult me and I'll stab you in the back one day for it. A lady should never be kept waiting. Someone Countess Evishnal to me. The army is the kingdom's true backbone. I would gladly meet with the General Baradian. I also welcome a bottle of wine. Okay. The Holy Father is always welcome guest in Velna. Send for him at once. What is the name of the nearest village? Have the carriage prepared. We shall snub the dignitaries. I'm in no mood to meet with anyone today. Leave me to my papers, Adrian. I think we'll go with the army here this time. Simply because of the bottle of wine that it comes with. I'm thirsty. Let's meet with General Bardarian. In less than 15 minutes.
In less than 15 minutes, the butler brings General Bardarian to you.
+1 to the military. Good. Whoa, he looks rugged.
Reliance on the army. The doors of the hall opened without a knock, and the general appeared in the doorway. Bardarian was completely bald, his head gleaming under the torchlight, with several scars crisscrossing his skin, each telling a story of countless battles. His face, rugged and sharp with deep wrinkles, spoke of years spent on the battlefield. His dark, penetrating eyes were sharp and observant. A slight hint of bulkiness only emphasized his powerful physique and commanding presence. Bardarian stopped in front of the throne and bowed his head in respect. "Your Majesty, I thank you for this honor," he said, his deep, gravelly voice resonating through the hall. The king nodded, inviting the general to speak. Bardarian straightened, his gaze turning serious and determined. "Your Majesty, I have come not only to express my gratitude, I have come to speak plainly. If you choose to support the army, you will have no allies more loyal than us. The army, and I personally, will stand by you until the end. We will die for you, if necessary." The general paused, letting the echo of his words ring in the silence of the hall. Then his tone turned harsher as he continued. "But the history of our kingdom remembers those who chose otherwise. Take King Anzabal the Peaceable, for example. As you know, his reign was the shortest, just 99 days. He believed that maintaining fortresses and supporting the military was too costly for the treasury. First, he disbanded his personal guard, and then he began cutting troops and reducing funding for military facilities. Bardarian took a step forward, his eyes glinting fiercely. By the end of the 3rd month, the troops marched into the capital. Without much ceremony, the king was executed in the main square, beheaded. Anzabal thought peace could be bought, but he failed to grasp one simple truth. Without a strong army, there is no peace. Yes, the army never fully recovered, but we learned our lesson. We will not allow such a thing to happen again.
Oh, is that a threat, son?
The general bowed his head once more, paying respect to the king. "I say this not to frighten or threaten you, your majesty.
Yeah.
The Holy Father and the Countess may never speak so directly, but they have plenty of ways to depose a dauphin, as they have done before. We believe in you, your majesty. As a token of our friendship, the army will undertake the restoration of one of the capital's critical structures."
All right, let's drink to that.
It is, of course, reassuring to have an ally like Bardarian, yet you cannot shake the thought that your uncle Anzabal was coldly beheaded by the very general of his own army.
Yeah, was it this guy who did it, or was it a different general? I wonder. King's Royal Guard. The Royal Guard, unwavering and loyal, stands ready to defend the kingdom at the cost. -1 initiative every 2 turns. That's not a benefit. That fucking sucks. What?
If the stars are lit, you toss and turn restlessly in bed. The pillow is far too soft and your neck quickly stiffens. "My first royal decree should ban soft pillows, you think," rising from the bed. In the fireplace, a single log crackles faintly as it burns out. Sleep eludes you on your first night as sovereign. Will you be able to bear such a heavy burden? Will you even survive to see the end of next week? Questions upon questions. Suddenly, a brilliant flash lights up the room, and you hurriedly step out onto the balcony. "A star! A falling star!" The palace guards shout in excited voices below.
I wonder how the people will interpret this.
Many witnessed the falling star tonight and saw it as a good omen for the start of the new king's reign. However, there were also those who believed this reign would be as brilliant and fleeting as the star's descent.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to be fleeting. Okay, so we can't click on any of these guys or do anything here, I guess. So these are obviously the different factions. You've got the commoners, the army, the aristocrats, and the church. Okay, so I guess that's the end of the turn. Yeah, end your turn when ready. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Drop a save. Oh, no, there's no save. Ah! I forgot there's no save, chat. Oh, it's permadeath. And No save. We're just gonna die horribly in our beds or all alone. From the history of Valandor. Vaslin the Grey, the kingdom's last rightful ruler, died without leaving a direct heir. His death marked the start of the succession of changing kings, when no regent lived long enough to be crowned. Okay. Why are we on day 5? What? It was day 1 a minute ago. I just got 9 initiative now. So it advances by 4 days every time you end the turn, does it? So you've got 100 turns, I guess. 110, 111 turns? Yeah, 111 turns. So now I've got 9 initiative. Let's go and spend it quickly in the King's Hall before we lose making any decisions. We can get a forge. In the forge, where the hammer's ring never ceases, weapons for the army and tools for peaceful labour are born. Every nail, every sword, and every link of chainmail is tested for strength in the hands of master craftsmen. It'll give me 1 initiative every 3 turns. It'll give me 0.5 defense and +1 with the military. We're going to build it. So it'll take a turn to build. All good. There goes all my initiative. I hope there's not a penalty for not having any when we need it next, but we'll find out. Do we have to get an armourer as well? Do we have to hire an armourer? The armourer's workshop hums with the rhythm of hammer blowing on hot metal. Here, skilled hands forge weapons and armour that will hold strong in fiercest battles. No, I guess not. I guess maybe it just works by itself, and then the armourer is like a benefit or something, a plus. Okay, we can curb our appetite. Matters of the port. That was there before as well. Oh, cool. It's got a little gear hammer symbol there where it's building. Nice. Harvest Festival, 3 Eyes, Let's Do Business, Inspection in Lucor. So we've got 3 commoners, 2 aristocrats, and 1 church option. Harvest Festival sounds fun. Let's do that. No, look at all the peasants in town.
Harvest Festival.
It is like something out of a Disney movie.
A gusty wind sweeps away the oppressive summer heat as golden autumn approaches. You pause in a village conveniently nestled between the Bay of Storms and golden wheat fields. Farmers busily load wagons with freshly harvested crops, buzzing around like hefty honeybees. The village elder approaches with a bow. After lamenting the hardships of rural life, he earnestly requests your assistance in organizing the Harvest Festival, a centuries-old tradition marking the end of the harvest season. We have not seen meat since winter, and as for ale, well, let's not even speak of it, he says with a sigh.
Get back to work, Lance the Treasurer snaps. A festival, nothing could possibly go wrong. Well, I mean, I've only got 1 option here, guys. Probably because I need initiative. Yeah, I don't have initiative. Damn it, I spent all our initiative, chat. I knew there was going to be a penalty immediately. Oh, for fuck's sake. So the options are, let us throw a celebration they will remember for centuries, but we need initiative for that. Send a troop of buffoons instead. We will save on food and drink. Not enough initiative. This is no time for merriment. Get back to work. I think we're going to do that, Lance, because we've got no choice. Seek sponsorship from the wealthier nobles. I am certain they will not refuse me. Yeah, right. The aristocracy hates me right now. All right, no time for merriment. The commoners are going to fucking shit a brick.
The Harvest Festival is one of the few joys in the lives of villagers. Kings may come and go, but missing the Harvest Festival was unforgivable.
Please don't kill me. Let's do business, I think. Oh, geez, yeah, definitely let's do business.
Let's do business. With the last trading ship came news that smugglers had settled at the northern end of the Bay of Storms. Such rumors could not go ignored, and you, resolved to uncover the truth, set out with a large group of guards. The journey was long, but your determination and desire to address the situation carried you forward. After navigating through an endless series of coves, you arrived at the site by nightfall. Before you stretched a hidden world, shielded from the eyes of law-abiding citizens. A secluded cove surrounded by high cliffs served as the perfect refuge for the smugglers. Along the shoreline, torches blazed brightly, and dozens of people bustled about, their activities muffled by the sound of the waves. Your group went unnoticed at first, but once a sharp-eyed lookout raised the alarm, panic ensued. Some scrambled into boats, trying to get as far from the shore as possible, while others dived into the water. Meanwhile, two men raised their hands high in a gesture of peace and approached you. They introduced themselves as Ludon and Luc Fonchel, the leaders of this illicit enterprise. Their operation involves smuggling goods from Cacao and Dalaman to bypass the kingdom's customs. According to the brothers, desperation and harsh trade policies implemented by the previous Dauphin, Sigarus the Recluse, had driven them to this life. Sigarus had imposed high tariffs to replenish the treasury. Fonchel claimed that almost every resident of the northern Bay of Storms was involved in smuggling in some way, storing, transporting, or selling goods. Even the military, aristocracy, and peculiar red-robed cultists allegedly ordered exotic fruits through them.
Cultists?
For the first time in years, locals were no longer living in abject poverty. The brothers offered any assistance you desired, as long as their lives and trade were spared.
Okay, interesting. The law is the law. You will all go to prison. Okay. The kingdom will buy your goods at a fair price, and your business must be legalized. I will find a way. Missing granary. Okay. I'm taking a cut. Deliver the agreed sum to Valandor monthly and continue your trade. So we can either send them all to prison, or we can take a cut. I guess we're going to take a cut. We should get a cut, says Lance, the greedy treasurer. Okay. I agree. I don't think we should send them all to prison. Like they said, there's like, what is it? Almost every resident of Northern Bay is involved in smuggling in some way. So we can't send the entire fucking county to prison. So yeah, we're going to take a cut. Let's see how that...
The smugglers began sending you regular financial gratitude, but the aristocrats were less than forgiving.
Oh, the aristocrats are not happy with me at all. Lost opportunities. +1 initiative every 4 turns. -1 rep with aristocrats every 4 turns. Okay. So, to the throne room.
The maze to nowhere. You stumble upon a massive, cobweb-covered portrait of your great-great-great-great-grandfather, Tartagon the Builder, in one of the castle's far corners. Family legends claim that he was the one who completely rebuilt the capital and the royal fortress. Overcome with a sudden wave of gratitude toward your noble ancestor, you order the portrait cleaned and hung in a more prominent place. However, the servants discover a hidden entrance to a dark underground passage behind it.
Cool.
Will you send someone to explore it, descend yourself, or leave the secrets untouched?
We're definitely not leaving the secrets untouched, chat. And I'm not a coward. I'm no sissy. I'm going to go in myself. I will descend myself and search for valuables. Gather a group of adventurous explorers to search the ancient passage. Who knows what they may find? No, I'm going myself, chat. I ain't no coward. Uh-oh. That's not good.
The most ridiculous death.
Oh, God.
Of course, we are all mortal, but to depart from life in such a ridiculous manner required effort. You barely had time to don the title of ruler of the kingdom before you managed to crawl into some old stinking passage, tumble down a ladder and break your neck.
How did I tumble down the ladder?
For help? That thought never crossed your mind, apparently. But what is the point of pondering it now? By the time they finally found you, your body had already begun to decay and emitted a rather unpleasant stench. Historians debated at length over what title to bestow upon a monarch whose reign was so fleeting. They ultimately settled on the absurd king. Believe me, it was the kindest of the suggestions floated around.
God damn it. Yeah, nobles apparently aren't known for their ladder climbing skills. My lord, you should probably train some more. I neglected leg day. That's what it was. I neglected leg day too much. It is indeed the most ridiculous death, alas.
After your death, conflicts erupted across the kingdom, with every region becoming a hotbed of power struggles. The result of your short and inglorious reign was the complete collapse of a once mighty state. The aristocracy became entangled in endless feuds.
They're already in endless feuds.
Staged one rebellion after another.
Fuck the common folk.
Lost all discipline. The Luminites, once a pillar of stability, lost their influence over the people. Taking advantage of this weakness, neighboring powers invaded and swallowed up the remnants of your kingdom.
Oh god, it went so badly, chat. We made one turn. It was like a week before I tripped down a ladder and died. That's so embarrassing. Oh my god. Okay. We started again, so we're not going to spend all our initiative this time, like I did last time, because that was a bad idea apparently. Yeah. Everything's back to normal. The harder the training, the harder the battle. Curb your appetite. There is no sadder story in the world. Well, we already did that one. Lost in the Woods. A Smelly Affair we did as well. 3 Eyes. What do you reckon, chat? Should we do some different ones? See what else there is to offer? Let's do Lost in the Woods. That sounds interesting. 3 Eyes, says Lance. Okay, we'll do 3 Eyes next. Appetite, says Antonio. Of course, everyone in chat says something different. Great, thanks, guys.
Stretching east of the capital, this forest
maybe it's about soup. Mushroom soup.
Could captivate even the most hardened cynic. Accompanied by 3 guards, you slowly made your way through the woods, which shimmered with the vibrant hues of autumn like a masterpiece painted by a great artist. The foliage gleamed in shades of green, yellow, and red, while golden sunlight stubbornly pierced the dense canopy, illuminating your path. Evening was drawing near. The silence felt almost alive, lurking in the thick underbrush. Only the faint rustling of leaves disturbed this harmony. At some point, lost in your thoughts, you failed to notice when you lost sight of your guards. After yelling at the top of your lungs and cursing everyone in earshot to no avail, you realized you might have wandered quite far from your escort.
Oh god, it's happening again, chat. I'm going to fall down a ladder in the middle of the forest. Your decision. I'll stay here, and if worse comes to worse, I'll camp out in the forest. It might even be a bit romantic. No, I'll probably get eaten by a bear or a jackal or something. Or Wolverine. It's a 3 to 4 hour walk back to the capital. I'll manage on my own. Again, I'll probably trip down a ladder and die. I'll keep walking and shouting loudly. Why are these my only options? Oh dear. Heads. Stick it out. Lance, flip a coin to the side. Heads. We don't have any coin flip mechanics. And I don't have a coin on me. What kind of king keeps a coin on him? 1 second. I'll stay here. Everyone knows when you're lost, you stay where you are, right? Because people will come searching for you. I'm the king. They're going to miss me immediately. I'm going to stay here. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Death by starvation.
I didn't mean to stay there for that long.
The forest, as the sun began to sink below the horizon, an uneasy feeling crept over you. The air, rich with the scent of pine and damp earth, felt heavy and unforgiving. You pressed onward. The ground beneath.
What do you mean pressed onwards? I told you to stay where you were.
A snapping branch startled you, but you continued. Then your foot caught on a hidden root, a small but treacherous trap, and you fell, sharp pain shooting through your ankle. Each step became more excruciating, and soon you realized...
Yeah, we're restarting again, Septonium.
At first, you believed you would find a way out, that your guards would eventually locate you. However, as days turned into nights, the forest grew indifferent to your plight. Your meager supplies of food and water ran out quickly. Each breath became a struggle for survival, and every movement was agony. The silence of the forest was pierced by the whispers of ancient trees, which seemed to mock your despair. You tried to summon the strength to keep moving, but your body refused to obey. Briellian Forest, once a place of peace and majesty, had become your prison. Your consciousness began to fade, images of your past flashing before your eyes. However, now they felt distant and unimportant. You had heard that death by starvation was among the most agonizing ways to go. The last thing you saw were the towering trees, their canopies reaching skyward, symbols of eternity and endlessness. The forest embraced you, and with your final breath, you realized that Briellian had become your resting place, a place where your story came to its end.
What a horrible, horrible death. My lord, let us take the decisions. You can't take care of yourself. Apparently not, Septonio. A double
After the
cheeseburger,
death,
fries, and a
conflicts
soda.
erupted across the kingdom, with every region becoming a hotbed of power struggles.
Okay, that says the same
The
thing.
result of your
So
shortening
restart.
war-
Okay. Alright, you guys make all the decisions then. I clearly not fit to rule. Right, where do we want to go? Seb and Lance. We've done a smelly affair. We've done Lost in the Woods. Twist of the wrist and a bit of trickery. Curb your appetite. The harder the training, the harder the battle. Romantics of the high road. They're on me. Curb your appetite. Yep, both of you suggested that, so let's do it.
Curb your appetite. For centuries, tradition dictated that taxes in the northeastern lands, stretching from the Satir Mountains to the Shadow Valley, were collected by the army stationed in Okor, a fortress perched on the border between your kingdom and the Duchy of Thorn. The residents of these lands, simple peasants and artisans, had grown accustomed to this arrangement. The army provided protection and in return collected annual taxes set by the king himself. But times have changed. After a series of weak monarchs with diminishing authority, the army began to take greater liberties. What was once an annual duty transformed into a quarterly burden. The people could not replenish their stores quickly enough and struggled to feed their families. Smoldering resentment erupted into open rebellion. The commoners united under the leadership of a former blacksmith named Gorman, a man of both strong hands and an even stronger will. "We will no longer feed their bloated bellies," Gorman proclaimed at a gathering in an old barn that served as the rebels' temporary headquarters. "Let them work the fields themselves if they want our bread. We will pay taxes only to the king, as it should be. No middlemen, no greedy collectors from Okor." Word of the rebellion spread swiftly across the northeastern lands and beyond. People defied the soldiers and even clashed with them directly. The army found itself in a precarious position, unwilling to use force against the people for fear of inciting a larger uprising. Gorman and his followers sent envoys to the royal court, demanding justice. Their appeal was straightforward: restore the old system and allow the commoners to pay taxes directly to the crown, bypassing the avaricious collectors in Okor. Upon hearing of the revolt, you grasped the gravity of the situation. This was not just about taxes, it was about authority. If you acquiesce to the commoners' demands today, they will learn that force can achieve their goals. And this will not sit well with the army, nor with many others.
So we can let them pay directly. Why do I need middlemen? Traditions are sacred, but the army needs to be reined in. Taxes may only be collected once a year. The army is within its rights. Give the rebels a good flogging as a preventative measure. Or let us find a compromise. Why not hand over tax collection to the church? Oh, that's going to end well, isn't it? Because the church aren't greedy or avaricious or corrupt in any way. Well, you guys wanted to lead. What do we do? Either the top or the one under that. Top or second. One or two. Top one says Lance. Okay. Top it is. Well, we didn't die, so that's a start.
Decision, but the army predictably curses your name. Let us hope you are not planning any wars soon.
Okay, so that's a pretty good outcome. 2 initiative, +1 with the peasants, -2 with the military. Cool. Good one, guys. We didn't die. Congratulations. We made it through. Which one do you want to do next? Romantics of the High Road. We could get our commoner reputation really high. Or we could do the harder the training, the harder the battle, and try and get our military rep back up. Harder training? Okay.
The harder the training, the harder the battle. You accepted
Seb
General
gets it, yeah.
Bardarian's invitation to attend the annual military drills near the fortress of Akor, located in the northeastern part of your kingdom. This event was an opportunity to witness the finest soldiers of the realm in action. The fortress of Akor loomed atop a hill, its walls and garrison serving as the shield between your kingdom and the Duchy of Thorn. Thorn's golden age is long past, and today it poses no threat. But 30 years ago, a young Bardarian earned his first scar beneath these very walls. The gates of the fortress creaked open, and you rode inside on horseback. The inner courtyard was bustling with soldiers, their faces a mix of curiosity and interest. General Bardarian stood at the base of the main tower, greeting you with a broad smile and a welcoming gesture. Welcome to Akor, Your Majesty. We are honored by your presence at our annual drills. You followed the general through the fortress, observing the soldiers' training. Warriors honed their skills on training dummies, shot arrows at targets, and performed coordinated group assaults. This ritual was not only a demonstration of their prowess, but also a testament to their discipline and endurance. Time flew by, and the drills concluded with exhibition bouts using practice weapons between the best soldiers. Watching the mastery of your finest troops wielding their swords, you felt reassured about the kingdom's future. Your Majesty, Bardarian said, I know you trained extensively in your youth with both sword and rapier. Would you care to demonstrate your skills against one of my soldiers? I am certain it would leave the impression we desire.
Oh, that can't go well. I can't even climb down a ladder. You're going to trust me with a sword? I have not practiced in some time, but, well, they say what is well learned is never forgotten. To the barrier! Or, I will pass for today. I'm not feeling quite myself. We don't have the option of certainly. How fortunate that I have recently resumed fencing lessons because we're missing a fencing instructor. Top option, says Lance. I think so too. Even though it could lead immediately to death, it could definitely be honourable. Well, an honourable death rather than a retarded death like the other two I've managed. It's still death, chat. We're trying to avoid that. We're trying to get past the first fucking day. Alright, top option. Let's see what happens. We survived.
It was not as bad as one might have thought. You deflected a series of powerful blows from
death is a part of life. It's the end of life.
The lack of
it's the final part of life.
In the end, your opponent knelt suddenly and delivered a strong strike to your legs. You fell and decided that was enough. Tomorrow would already involve half a day spent in bed recovering from the blow. Yet no one shamed you for the fight. A king does not need to be the best warrior, but must never fear danger.
Cool. So we lost an initiative but gained a rep with the military. Good work, guys. Very nice. To the throne room. Oh, stingy and even stingier. We've seen this one. So what do we want to do here, guys? Who do we want to distribute it to?
A notorious miser aristocrat and possessor of
yeah, that even things out quite nicely. Do we want to try and like excel with one particular party, or do we want to try and keep it balanced? I think we want to shut the fuck up. I think we want to try and keep it balanced, so that none of them get too low, or none of them get too high either. Because if any of them get too high, it might be seen as showing them favoritism, or it might create enmity. I can't even say it. It might make an enemy of the other factions. So we'll do balance. Yeah, I think that's right, Lance and Seb. Right, which one do we go for then? So soldiers, a second from the bottom. Soldiers again, like we did last time. That was a pretty good outcome, I think. Oh no, last time I spread it amongst the nobles, didn't I? Because they were pissed off with me. I liked the idea of doing the military, though. I think that's a good, fair response, because it's keeping everyone safe. It's spending the money on something that's of benefit to everyone in the kingdom, so let's do it.
By the end of the week, small outposts on the borders with Kokeo and Dalaman began seeing significant fortifications and winter-ready housing. Soldiers received generous rations.
Yeah, you're right, Lance.
Glory to the king. Dauphin.
What? Glory to the key Dauphin? Oh, instead of glory to the king, they said Dauphin. What does Dauphin mean? Does anyone know? By the end of the week, small outposts on the borders of Cacao and Dalaman are being seen. Glory to the Dauphin. What does Dauphin mean? I'm not sure. Do you know where we stand with each faction? Not at the moment. For some reason, it's all question marks. I don't know why.
The butler's advice.
Okay, so again, it's the same one. Who do we want to see first? Dolphin. Eek, eek, eek. I don't think it's a dolphin. Septonian reckons it's +1000. I think that's right from what I remember. I think we got one with the commoners, and now army was -2, but now it's back to 0 after those two decisions. And then aristocracy and church haven't been affected yet. So, which dignitary are we going to meet first? Looking for the church or nobles? We can meet the priest, the Holy Father Lumiel. Nobles, okay. My loyal advisors have spoken. We shall meet with the nobles. A lady should never be kept waiting. Summon Countess Vinchel to me.
Barely a quarter of an hour passes before the butler ushers Countess or Vinchel into your chambers.
Into my chambers? Jesus. Oh no, never mind. She's like an old lady.
Reliance on the aristocrats. If you are to seek allies worthy of your favor, the aristocracy is the natural place to start. After all, you yourself are a child of noble blood. Were it not for the unrelenting churn of monarchs ascending and falling, you would have spent your days in serene luxury on Cherry Isle, or perhaps far away in the refined lands of Dalaman. Ambitions for the throne had never crossed your mind. Why would they, for the sixth in line? Yet fate had other plans. Uncles and cousins departed one by one to face the radiant Lord Lumen's judgment, drawing you ever closer to the coveted throne. Now you find yourself where you never expected to be. To hold this position and survive the first 444 days of your reign, you must secure the support of the aristocracy. They have armies, wealth, and influence. And now before you stands the most powerful and affluent noble in the kingdom, Countess Vinchel. You had never met her in person, though her name was often spoken in your circles. Following the Countess into the room, her attendants carried an impressively large portrait. A gentle smile graced her face. My liege.
That's not a smile, that's a horrible frown.
I am honored to be the first to welcome you on this momentous
That's a
day.
scowl, if anything.
I am confident that today marks the beginning of a new chapter for our kingdom. We, your loyal servants, stand ready to assist you. I present this portrait of myself so that in moments of heavy deliberation, you may remember that you have a steadfast friend. Additionally, the aristocracy will fund the restoration of one of the capital's landmarks as a token of our support, personally for you. You exchanged polite remarks with the Countess, reminisced about mutual acquaintances, and chuckled over Baron Uskar Furvald's latest eccentricities. Upon leaving, the elderly Countess offered you a warm smile and a courteous farewell. But you were not deceived by her charm for even a moment. You knew all too well the lengths she would go to achieve her goals.
Yeah, now we've got this ugly witch portrait that we have to put up somewhere. Well, fine, what it is. What is it that the aristocrats have decided to rebuild in this dump that is mistakenly called the capital? Jeez, what an opinion from the king.
All the skilled builders had fled over the past years from the struggling kingdom.
She's
The
suspicious,
aristocracy
yeah.
invested considerable effort and resources to assemble a new team of craftsmen, the Masonry Guild.
Mason's Guild. Building for the ages takes more than skill. It takes the expertise of the Masons Guild, who work with the strongest materials and steady hands. 10% discount on building, construction, and hiring costs. -1 initiative every 3 turns. That's good. That's a good benefit. Yeah, we got a good building out of it. That's pretty good. I wonder if it's random.
If the stars are lit,
Okay, same thing. It's the flash shooting star. I wonder if it's random, if it gives you a random building each time you do it, or if each faction has a specific building that they build for you at the start. I wonder how the people will interpret this.
many witnessed the falling star tonight and saw it as a good omen for the start of the new king's reign. However, there were also those who believed this reign would be as brilliant and fleeting as the star's descent.
Well, they were right about that last time. They won't be right about it this time, though, will they? Will they, chat? We're going for 444 days this time. Let's end the turn. Okay, we've got 11 initiative. Do we spend the initiative to build? Because it's only going to cost 8 now. That'll leave us with 3 initiative. So we'll actually have initiative, or should we save it up? Plus 2 plebs, 0 soldiers, 1 nobles, and 0 religion. Yeah, thanks, guys. That's really useful, actually. Keep note of what's going on, because I don't know why, but it's not doing it up here. It's question marked. Maybe we need a building to be... Oh, no, it's an informer. I think we need an informer. That's what he said at the start, right? He said you don't know what your reputations are with any of the factions until you get an informer from the King's Hall. But you can't get an informer until you have an inn. You can't get an inn until you have enough initiative, which we do now. But that would cost all of our initiative, and we'd end up in the same situation last time, where we weren't able to make decisions because we didn't have initiative. I think we need to hold off on building for this turn, so try to max influence. Seb reckons build the forge, Lance reckons hold off. That means it's my decision. I think we should build. Well, let's do these first, and then we can build at the end of the turn. Let's not do anything yet. Let's do not quests, the decisions, I suppose, first, and then at the end of the turn, if we still have initiative, we can spend it on building. So what we'd like to do, guys, Matters of the Port is new. Let's do business. Romantics of the High Road, Inspection in Lucor, or Matters of the Port. Those are the only 3 that we haven't done yet, and there's no more on the map anywhere. We know what. Let's do businesses. Didn't know you could. We can break even with nobles there. Okay. Raise the nobles. Okay.
Let's do business. With the last trading ship came news that
Smelly. Yeah, we can pause this because we read it just a minute ago. Smelly Affair needed a building, but I can't remember which one it is. But we definitely don't have it yet, so we should probably hold off on Smelly Affair. Oh no, actually, we have exactly what we need for Smelly Affair. Smelly Affair was the one with the tanner on the river who was poisoning the river. And there was the option of relocating the entire city if you had the builders, which we didn't have at the time. But the aristocracy has just given us the builders. So we could probably do Smelly Affair and relocate the city with the help of the builders to keep everyone happy. So you want to do those two? Okay. What's the choice here? Are we taking a cut again, or are they all going to prison? Yeah, cool. No worries, guys. I think the cut would even up the nobles. I thought the nobles, the nobles is -1 for the cut. So yeah, that would make it 0, neutral. But I think that gives you +1 with the plebs. If they go to prison, I'm not sure what happens. Yeah, don't forget we have -1. The Masons Guild, that's what we needed. Yeah, that's what we needed. So it's -1 every 3 turns from the initiative because of the Masons Guild. I thought the aristocracy was +1 every 4 turns. Balancing out, but I'm not sure what we gain from this. Yeah, it's -1 initiative. I thought we got plus rep with the aristocrats. Oh, we gain 1 initiative for every 4 turns from the bottom option. That's probably the best then, because it will balance out the Masons Guild then. Because we don't want to go into negative initiative, because then we'll never be able to build anything or do anything. We could do -2 for the plebs and keep the nobles happy. Yeah, we don't know what the top option does. So we need a granary for the middle option. We don't know how the top option affects us yet. And the bottom option gives us... Bottom? Yeah, that'll neutralize the -1 Mason's initiative. Okay.
The smugglers began sending you regular financial gratitude, but the aristocrats were less than forgiving.
Okay. And then, so that's... we can't see it anywhere. I can't remember. I've already forgotten, guys. I've already forgotten what it is. It's +1 initiative every 4 turns, -1 aristocrats every 4 turns, right? We don't do the Harvest Festival? No, it's not the Harvest Festival. We're going to do the Smelly Affair. 2000 at the moment, but every 4 turns it'll be -1 with the aristocrats now. Okay, let's try a Smelly Affair again.
The smugglers began sending you regular financial...
Pause. There we go. This is the one we couldn't do, I think. Order the Masonry Guild to build a new village nearby in a location chosen by the peasants. That's the one that we couldn't do. I reckon we go for that immediately. Because that seems like the best, most sensible option.
How wonderful to be so far-sighted. The Masonry Guild quickly built new homes for the peasants near one of the many streams in the area. The villagers had to transport their belongings themselves, but that was a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, that's a pretty good outcome, actually. We got lots of plus and only 0.5 health. Yeah, that was a huge net gain in general, like double net gain. And we only lost 0.5 health. Brilliant. Good decision making, guys.
The maze to nowhere.
Oh, it's the ladder again, chat. Should we just seal the hole and not do anything? No, let's send a group of adventurous explorers. They can fall down the ladder and break their necks. I don't remember what we got. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. There's too much to focus on. We need an informant desperately. Well, that's the next thing we'll focus on. We'll focus on getting an informant as soon as we have enough initiative, which we should do now. I need to write it down, yells Septonium. We're doing the adventurers, right? Give me a sec. Do you reckon this is RNG? I'm not going to click it, but do you reckon there's like a luck factor or there's an RNG roll to it? Where if you do it, if you fail the roll, you fall down the ladder and break your neck and die. But if you pass the RNG roll, you end up finding loads of wealth and like giving yourself loads of initiative or something. I don't know. 3010. Well, guys, if we built the thing, we could get the informant and it would show us and we wouldn't have to keep track of it. If we could save, it would be nice, but I think it's not the game intentionally for replayability. Yeah, there's no save in this difficulty. The developer said that he's working on different difficulties where you can save in between decisions. But this is permadeath and Iron Man, so... You think option 1? Yeah, I think we get a group of adventurers to go and break their necks. I'm not risking mine again.
Someone called Indiana,
Indiana, cool.
claimed to have been exploring the tombs of ancient kings long before your majesty was even born. This time, however, they found nothing of value, only spiders and bat droppings. Nevertheless, they charged as if they had discovered a diamond the size of a fist.
They didn't find anything. Again, I wonder if that's RNG. I wonder if on a roll that succeeds, you can maybe find something, but this one they failed? I don't know. This is -2. No, this is -2 initiative. So we lost 2 initiative. It cost us some.
Silver lining.
But we've gone further than we've gone before, chat. So well done.
Sit in the throne hall, watching the play of light reflecting through the stained glass windows, when a group of peasants and a noble aristocrat appears before you. Their faces are tense and anxious, and you realize that you are
nothing
about to
ventured,
make
nothing
another
gained.
difficult
Exactly.
decision. When were they ever easy? At the head of the peasants stands the village elder, his face lined with deep wrinkles. Next to him is a young shepherd, judging by his attire. Opposite them stands the aristocrat, Edward the Furb Melwood, haughty and confident in his claim. 5 years ago, the common folk rented a patch of land in the foothills for my Melwood to graze their sheep. The land seemed barren, but for the peasants, it was their only hope of feeding their families. Fate, however, had other plans. While grazing their sheep, the shepherds discovered a rich vein of silver. They kept their discovery hidden from the landowner. When Edward the Third Melwood learned of the silver, he demanded the return of all the extracted ore and immediately sought to terminate the lease, claiming that the resources of the land were his by right. The desperate peasants have come to you, their king, to seek justice.
So our decision, all mineral resources in the kingdom belong to the crown. The mine is hereby seized as royal property. Let the common folk keep the silver they have already mined, but the nobleman has the right to terminate the lease. Immediately return all extracted silver to Edward E. Melwood and vacate the land at once. The lease is for 5 years. The common folk may continue to use the land, and the silver they mine is lawfully theirs. I'm leaning more towards this one, the second option. Let the common folk keep the silver they have already mined, because they found it, so they've got a finder's fee. But then the nobleman that has the right to terminate the lease and carry on mining the mine himself. Option 2 or 4, says Subtonium. I don't like option 4 that much, because the silver they mined is lawfully theirs. It shouldn't be, because it's not on their land. The lease was not part... The silver wasn't part of the lease, so... Probably 2, though. 2, then? Yeah, I think 2.
Deep down, the common folk understood that keeping the mine was too good to be true. They accepted your decision with gratitude. The nobleman, however, was far from pleased. He had been robbed for months and was then forced to let the thieves leave with their loot.
Oh, dear. The peasants love us, chat. We're a man of the people again.
Merely a piece of iron. A star fell somewhere in Verador.
You can punish the peasants now? Yeah.
In the
Bloody peasants.
Searching for it could take weeks. Yet you have a strong feeling that finding it is essential and that it might play a significant role in your future. Will you launch an expedition?
Okay, so a star falls in the forest nearby. Yes, I will personally lead a squad of guards. No, I can't lead myself out of the toilet without some accident or horrible situation occurring. Yes, but let them search without my involvement, or no, let us abandon this fruitless venture. That's death. Don't do option 1. Yeah, I think it probably is. Option 2, let them search without me being involved. I think that's the most sensible option here. What, do you think it... Yeah, I think option 2 is the best. Yeah, let's go with that.
The guards found a forester who witnessed the approximate site of the meteorite's fall. By the end of the week, you held a small fragment of cosmic iron, the rest likely destroyed upon impact, which was handed over to the blacksmith for examination.
Cool. So we got 1 initiative for that. Good. Well, we survived to day 6, chat. That's longer than we've ever done before. Shall we? We've got 11 initiative. Shall we build the inn now? That'll leave us with 0 initiative, though. I don't like that. I was going to build the forge, because that would leave us with 3 initiative. I don't know. It seems a bit dangerous. Does the initiative carry over? What do you mean carry over? Yeah, you keep it next turn. Initiative is like a representation of like your wealth and capabilities. So we could either build the inn, build the forge, or build nothing and save it. Like if we built 8 with 3 carry... Oh, right, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so if we built the forge, we'd have 3 left. I think... But the forge isn't as useful as the inn. The inn will allow us to then build the informant, which will then allow us to keep track of what's going on with the different factions, as well as possibly give us other options. Do you think we spare it? What, you mean... Don't build anything, is that what you mean, Seb? Or I think inn would be the next logical step and help us in chat. Yeah. Let's focus on the inn first. Yeah. I think we focus on the inn. But I don't think we spend the 11 because that will leave us with 0. I think we wait till next turn, see how much initiative we have at the end of the turn again, and if we've got enough spare, we build the inn then. Because we don't want to be left on 0 initiative again. Yeah, agreed. Don't build it yet. Yeah, cool. No worries, guys. End the turn. Yeah. So I'm not just a clumsy fall down the ladder, get lost in the woods and starve to death idiot. Not all the time. Consider hiring a spy to understand how the kingdom's factions perceive you. Yeah, okay. What? Why is my castle on fire? What the fuck? The castle's on fire, chat. What happened? Oh shit. There's not even a thing to deal with it. It's just on fire randomly. You're Henry the Savant, let's play. What's Henry the Savant? You talking about Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance, or? Oh no, says Seb. Yeah, that's an understatement. I have no idea why the castle's on fire. Okay, so you got Matters of the Port. There's no saddest story in the world, which we've done already. Harvest Festival, which we've done already. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Oh, that has to be it, chat. We have to do yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, right? Romantics on the High Road we haven't done yet, and Inspection in Lucor we haven't done yet either. Oh, you mean Henry the Invalid from my hardcore Kingdom Come Deliverance playthrough. Oh, we have 17 initiative. Oh yeah, well spotted, Seb. Henry the Invalid, yeah. I see. Okay, so yeah, we'll do yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, and there is no saddest story in the world. Let's do this one first and see how it goes.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. In your youth, you loved reading adventure novels, often featuring pirates. In those tales, sea rogues were depicted as merry pranksters and jokers who drank rum, found themselves in ridiculous situations, and then somehow clumsily wriggled out of them. Sometimes they were portrayed as brainless villains, easily outsmarted by the hero. Perhaps such pirates existed somewhere, but certainly not in your kingdom. Recently, you had been receiving reports that, despite the turbulent autumn seas, pirates were raiding coves in the Storm Bay and looting small coastal villages. Today, the Elder of Quiet Haven, a small fishing village known for catching fish and crabs, came to you in tears. Your Majesty, it is a disaster. You are our only hope. Those damned villains have taken our villagers captive. Woe upon my gray head. What am I to do now? The old man explained that yesterday pirates had raided the village but did not stop at looting. They had taken half a dozen villagers captive and threatened to sell them into slavery if a hefty ransom was not paid by tomorrow's sunset. The rampage of pirates in your kingdom is a direct result of the kingdom's low defensive capabilities. In any case, you must now decide how to handle this situation.
What? I've got defense 5. It's like the highest stat that we have apart from initiative at the moment. Okay, so you can either pay the ransom. My personal guard will handle these pirates and free the captives. We're missing the King's Royal Guard for that. We will deploy regular army units to deal with the pirates. That'll increase... Oh, we don't have a high enough relationship with the army to do that. Or, I am deeply sorry, but in these difficult times, people must be prepared to defend themselves. How much is the ransom? Can you check? No. I should imagine it'll be like 2 or 3 initiatives, something like that. I think we can afford to pay the ransom for the benefit of the people. We'll lose a couple of initiative, but we should still have enough left to build the inn still. I'm deeply sorry. Honestly, either is good. Lance says deeply sorry. Seb says probably top. Pay the ransom. Do you want to flip a coin? Flip a coin to see if we save the peasants' lives from slavery. Leave it to fate. So we'll say heads is top, tails is bottom. Yeah. So yeah, heads is pay the ransom. I should get like an on-screen coin flip thing, shouldn't I? I'll try and sort that out in between streams. There's got to be like an app or something you can have on screen with like a coin flip or something. Tails. Okay, deeply sorry, but people have to look after themselves.
The elder, trembling with tears, is escorted out by your guards. You hear his cries, mixed with curses, echoing through the corridor.
Oh, I feel bad, chat. We could afford that, but I still feel awful. The poor old man lost his daughter, sold into slavery, and goodness knows what else happened to her. Just because we didn't want to part with a little bit of money. Oh, that doesn't feel good. It's still fine, like, numerically, yeah, but it doesn't make me happy. Okay, did you want to do the no saddest story in the world? We probably should, since the castle's on fire, and this one seems to be linked to the castle. Sad story? Okie dokie, let's go. So we've already heard that. Well, we don't need to. Yeah. So, we've got new options here, or options that we couldn't do before anyway. So Tibor must be executed. Oh no, these four were the same, weren't they? We had them before. It was this one we couldn't do. Yeah, okay. So which option should we go for? Tibor must be executed. Imprison Tibor in the dungeon for 10 years with no chance of early release. Let the Il Calpetos pay the Montecu family gold equal to the weight of the deceased. By the way, was he a big fellow? That's the option I went for last time, and it resulted in +1 to aristocracy, -1 to nobles, to peasants, maybe? I can't remember. Or I can recuse myself and not do anything. You think that paying the gold is +1 noble rep? Option 2 or 3? I like option 3, to be honest. I think option 3 is the most neutral and fair. Because he did challenge him to a duel, and the guy must have accepted because it came to blows. So it was like an honourable duel. I don't think there's any reason to punish Tibor extensively, but there was also no need for him to die. So, okay, we'll go with 3 again. Oh, that was it.
Your behavior resembled that of a tribal chief. But was there truly a better option?
Yeah, we lose 1 with the aristocrats. We lose 1 initiative as well. Okay, well, whatever. Let's go to the King's Hall now. Let's build the inn. Because we'll have 5 initiative left. It gives us an initiative every turn as well. And we'll also be able to get an informant. 2-0 -1-0. Okay. The throne room. Are they going to tell me why my castle's on fire? Yeah, there we go.
We are on fire. Your butler woke you in the middle of the night, just a couple of hours before dawn, shouting, "Fire! Fire!" Usually calm and stoic, Adrian. The Holloway's face was now overcome with panic.
Oh, that was awfully read by the AI.
Put on one sock, looking so disheveled and comical that your servants might not have recognized you as their ruler. Thankfully, the fire was not in the castle, but in one of the capital's prestigious districts, Corridoria. Fortunately, only 4 houses were destroyed, and the combined efforts of the townsfolk and a timely downpour brought the blaze under control relatively quickly. By morning, only the smell of smoke lingering throughout the city served as a reminder of the event. During breakfast, Adrian apologized for his overly emotional reaction and confessed that his once wealthy family had lost everything in a fire when he was just a young boy. Gathering his courage, he suggested that you consider establishing a firefighting service in the capital. Fires in Valandor and its surroundings were not uncommon and could at times cause significant damage.
Yeah, so I think top option, as you guys suggest, is the best one. We don't know what the consequences will be, but I'm going to go with that. Definitely help those affected. Oosh.
The very next day after the fire, dozens of workers hastily recruited from the port arrived at the site. The local nobility was pleasantly surprised. The workers quickly cleared the rubble while an enhanced guard detail watched over the salvaged belongings. Although the nobles will have to rebuild their homes themselves, no one expected such a generous gesture from the new king. The aristocrats were genuinely impressed.
Great. So we got a 1 bonus with the aristocrats, sending it back to neutral. Cost us a bit of initiative, but I mean, we had some spare, so that's fine. Holy Father.
Holy Father's only weakness.
We haven't had any interaction with the church yet, so this will
The
be
only
new.
known weakness of Holy Father Lumiel was chess. His eternally stern face and ascetic lifestyle somehow coexisted with the spirit of an avid player who had honed his skills to a remarkable level. In every match, he displayed an unparalleled ability to foresee his opponent's moves and plan several steps ahead. Perhaps there was not a single noble in the kingdom who did not know how to play chess. A good game was considered a hallmark of not only great intellect, but also a sign of refined aristocracy. This evening in your study in Valendor, the atmosphere was especially tense. A popular opening, the Dalaman Gambit, was unfolding on the board. Holy Father Lumiel favored an aggressive attack with 2 knights, always aiming to seize the initiative early on. His fianchettoed bishop ominously eyed your king, shielded by a solid wall of pawns. 2 hours into the game, silence reigned in the room. Occasionally, you and your opponent stepped to the window to gaze at the slumbering city and release some of the tension from the complex match. By the shadows of Tenebris, the Holy Father murmured almost inaudibly, I did not see that. You studied the board intently, recalling tales of Magnus the Heretic, a king whose chess mastery was so exceptional that he could easily defeat nearly any opponent. Unfortunately, that was the sole highlight of his reign, aside from his infamous clashes with the church. Your opponent began shifting his minor pieces erratically, constructing a mysterious combination. What was he plotting? Rumor had it that the church had not deposed Magnus solely for his heresy. Holy Father Lumiel allegedly had personal grudges against the ill-fated king over their chessboard encounters. Of course, it sounded absurd, yet people believed it. Arguably, the end of your distant cousin Magnus the Heretic's reign was the most enigmatic among the many changes of rulers. His body was never found, and some whispered that Magnus still lived, hiding abroad or even retreating into seclusion in the Satyr Mountains. Whatever Lumiel was aiming for, his white pieces attack had stalled. You executed several skillful moves, pushing all his pieces to the board's edge. All that remained was to finish your assault and suffocate the opponent. After deliberation, you found an intriguing combination that would deliver a checkmate in 5 or 6 moves. Your opponent observed your every move intently, his gaze devoid of emotion. No, there could be no mistake. The choice before you was clear. Launch an immediate attack or continue building up your positional advantage.
Okay. Option 2 says Lance, option 2 says Septonium. It's the most logical. If you attack recklessly, you will just lose, and that will result in a bad relationship. And the same for being a coward. Yeah, I don't think the coward option is worth it. Is a good option, especially when in an advantageous position. Why would you postpone the match and give him time to think and collect himself? Yeah, I think we just take our time. If we've got a positional advantage, unless you lose the advantage by not attacking. But it doesn't suggest that. It says you can do either option, so we'll do option 2.
You purse your lips and bow your head, conceding defeat, opting for positional play over a decisive attack.
Oh, we did lose it.
You slowly lost your advantage. In chess parlance, you were outplayed on skill alone. Your Majesty, you played well, but failed to decipher my plans. Understanding the enemy's strategy is the key to victory in this game. Sometimes one must yield and make concessions to lure the opponent into a trap. And sometimes one must not fear launching a bold attack, carefully calculating every move. Yeah, so it looks like the attack was the correct option. But they do say the best defense is a good offense, so we had to seize the initiative there. Oh well. Merely a piece of iron?
Yeah.
You enter the workshop just as the blacksmith finishes examining the gleaming fragment of the
Yeah, we didn't lose anything for it, so that's
After
fine.
the chilly streets of Valendor, the room feels unbearably stuffy, and you are tempted to shed your cloak despite the breach of etiquette. The young, muscular blacksmith greets you with a friendly smile and informs you that he has carefully studied the fragment. Nothing extraordinary. If you had not mentioned it fell from the sky, I would not have noticed anything unusual. The only thing I can say is that working with this metal makes my head spin, similar to working with lead. You bid him farewell, informing him the fragment would be collected the following day. However, the next day, you are told the blacksmith was found dead.
Jeez.
There were no signs of foul play. It seemed as though he simply lay down, fell asleep, and never woke up. None of the blacksmith's belongings appear to be missing. It seems you will need to find a new blacksmith.
Okay, lock the fragment of cosmic metal away somewhere far from people. It could be dangerous. Dispose of the fragment, casting it far away. Yeah, I think we want to control it. You can't just like toss it into the sea and be like, see ya, and let some peasant come across it and like, yeah, we'll lock it away.
The strange cosmic metal, which may have caused the blacksmith's death, has been moved to one of Valandor's cellars. Who knows? Perhaps it will be of use one day.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay. Chat, we made it. We made it to turn 3. Good work, everyone. Thank you, my loyal advisors. Oh, here we go. It explains the prefix I. From the history of Valandor, the prefix I is reserved for nobility. Many wealthy commoners would give half their fortune to add the prestigious I to their name. That explains the I in the middle of the name that I was highlighting earlier. Okay, cool. I like these backdrops. They're really beautiful. Very nice. Okie dokie. So the tavern has been built, which means you can now go there. Was it a tavern we built? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Oh, it was an inn. So that means you can go to the tavern, apparently. What's in the tavern? Cool. Is there anything we can click on here? Anything we can do? Can we move? Oh, no. Okay, so it's literally just a tavern. Interesting. Not sure what that's about. Maybe we can meet someone there later. Okay, which ones do we want to go for now? We've got the Sacred Grove, Lost in the Woods again, which is an eye, so I'm not sure like what that represents, because most of the others represent one of the other factions. Again, looking for the blacksmith is another eye. 3 eyes for the church, Romantics of the High Ground, or Inspection in Lucor. Something army related, suggests Seb. Yeah, I agree, but I think we should also do looking for the blacksmith, since that follows on from the blacksmith's death that we just had as well. Because we need to find another blacksmith now, don't we? Looking for the blacksmith and 3 eyes? Okay. Sounds good to me. Oh god, we killed someone, chat.
The blacksmith. The sudden death of the blacksmith deeply troubled you. What is a castle without its own smith? Your inept ancestors had driven away most respectable professionals from the kingdom, including skilled blacksmiths. You quickly realized that if you wanted something done well in your kingdom, you often had to do it yourself. So you set out to find a new master craftsman to fill this vital role. After extensive searching and numerous recommendations, a story about a talented blacksmith named Doran caught your attention. He was renowned for his masterful forging technique. However, there was one small problem. What kind of problem? You were told you would have to see for yourself. You arrived at a small village on the edge of Verador called Little Hills. The houses, all wooden, reflected the village's close proximity to the forest, where timber was the only available building material. Expecting to locate the forge by the sound of hammers ringing, you found nothing of the sort and decided to visit the village elder for help. On your way, you passed by a drunken figure sprawled in the muddy autumn dirt. The elder's 2-story wooden house towered over the surrounding huts like a watchtower. As you approached, the elder rushed out to greet the unexpected royal guest. When you explained your purpose, he let out a heavy sigh. No doubt about it, Doran is talented like no one else. But my help in finding him is unnecessary. He is lying right over there. Indeed, the drunkard wallowing in the mud was the legendary blacksmith. When he is sober, there is no better smith in the entire kingdom, but he drinks heavily and often. Even the Dalamanites tried to hire him, but things did not work out.
Oh god. Lance goes for option 1. Really? Do you want to risk it? We're going to have a drunken blacksmith wandering around. We've already had one fire in the capital. So basically a dwarf. Don't be racist, Seb. Even fantasy racism's unacceptable. So what a waste of time is obviously you walk away and don't do anything. and clean him up and bring him to the capital. I wonder if we walk away, I wonder if it gives us another option for finding a different smith. Yeah, probably one. Because we don't know if we don't find, if it did say earlier in the start of this that our ancestors had driven away most blacksmiths, so there probably isn't a abundance of options here. If we don't accept this, it could be completely lost. Yeah, exactly. I think we just accept it. I don't think we have an abundance of options, and if we don't take this, we might just not have a blacksmith. Even though he's a drunkard, we might be able to sober him up. Let's clean him up and bring him to the capital. You guys both suggested it, and I'm happy doing it, so let's go. A week
later, the heavily hungover blacksmith was settling into Valandor. You had a sinking feeling that this would not be the last of your troubles with him.
Yeah. So forge. So we got a forge out of it. That's cool. So we don't have to build the forge now. And we get +1 initiative every 3 turns from it. So nice. But there are going to be consequences down the line, chat. We are going to end up with a drunken fool wandering around and causing problems. Okay. So we want to do 3 eyes now, right?
3 eyes. Parhelia, a rare phenomenon, graced the skies of the kingdom for the first time in a century. 2 dazzling solar discs flanked the true sun like loyal sentinels. The luminous, ever faithful to their doctrine, interpreted this as a sign of divine purification. 3 suns burn away all sins, like 3 fiery eyes of the celestial judge, they said. News of this event spread like wildfire across the kingdom, and people abandoned their daily lives to embark on pilgrimages. Holy texts prescribed a 3-day and 3-night journey, permitting stops only for rest and cleansing. However, the church was clearly unprepared for such an overwhelming movement. Now you are deep in thought. Should you organize aid for the thousands of pilgrims suddenly taking to the roads, or let them fend for themselves?
May Lumen help them. So, yeah, option 1, may the Radiant Lumen help them. I guess that means, like, leave it to themselves. Leave them for them to fend for themselves, I guess. Or option 2, immediately set up tents along the main routes. Feed all comers and provide assistance as needed, and make sure they remember to praise the king. So I think that option will take initiative from us, 'cause it'll be money, but it will give us rep with presumably commoners or the church. Option 3 is dispatch 100 or 200 soldiers to maintain order on the roads, which will probably give us negative faction with the army. And option 4, which we can't do, is prepare the hospital for potential emergencies and send a couple of physicians in a carriage to travel the route providing aid. Because we don't have a hospital, we can't do that one. 2 or 3. 3 could be good for the army. I think 3 will detract from the army. Because I think the army will be like, well, why are we wasting our time patrolling these roads when we could be out fighting barbarians or pirates or whatever? I don't know. This could be a part of the pilgrimage. So probably 2. Yeah, I think 2. We just spend a bit of money on 2. We just lose a bit of initiative. And we've got 8. 2 takes away from the church, does it? Oh, what? Yeah, because we make sure they remember to praise the king. So instead of getting church rep, we'll lose it. But it also might be that you are replacing their religion. Yeah, I get it. Well, it looks like we're going to lose rep regardless. Either we lose rep from the commoners by doing this one, or we lose rep from the church by doing this one, or we lose rep from the army by doing this one. Don't we have like 2 rep with the commoners at the moment, so we could afford to lose some from them? Yeah, we have a rep of 2 with the plebs, so if we were to lose rep with them, it wouldn't be too bad because it would just neutralize us rather than put anyone in negatives. It's 2000. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I guess we go with this option, yeah, and hope that it is negative plebs. Okay, it's been cleared by my royal advisors. We're doing the top option. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we lost one with the church as well.
Many associated the parhelia with the beginning of your reign. Perhaps Lumen himself had sent this radiant sign to the kingdom after a series of misfortunes. But after you carelessly ignored the event, such notions were quickly discarded.
That was a bad outcome in the end. We lost 0.5 health and we lost 1 rep with both the church and the masses. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Let's take a look at the King's Hall. I don't think there's anything here we can build at all. Oh, the forge takes a turn to build. Okay. You don't just get it immediately. Oh, King's Royal Guard is 20 initiative. Wow. So we can get an informer next turn, I reckon. That actually might be worth it in the end. Yeah, well, we don't know what the other outcomes are. For all we know, it could have been like -2 out of everyone on the other outcomes. So, cool. Next turn, I reckon we get an informant. Let's go to the throne room.
Minor ailment. The morning was cold and windy when you began to feel a faint tickle in your throat. The air, imbued with the scent of autumn leaves and the distant sounds of the forest, suddenly seemed heavy and sticky.
Sticky air! Sticky air, chat!
Of the morning dew in the royal park. Now
My one weakness, apart from ladders and forests.
By noon, when golden rays of sunlight finally pierced through the dense autumn clouds, the signs of an impending cold were impossible.
It's the clap.
Your nose began to run, and every attempt to take a deep breath triggered a cough. It felt as if the air was filled with tiny needles that pricked your throat with each breath. Eventually, you decided to settle into your favorite armchair by the fireplace.
I told you the inn has STDs. I went into the inn for a second and picked up an airborne STD from the sticky air chat.
Prepared by your ever-attentive butler, provided slight relief, but the persistent headache refused to relent.
Is the church's fault? Well, because we didn't... Do you reckon they cursed us and that God sent an illness? Not a big deal. I'll rest for a couple of days. The kingdom can wait is our only option here. Yeah, summon the royal doctor needs a physician or send for the herbalist to brew a remedy for my cold. Again, we're missing the herbalist. Okay, so we have to rest. Oh, you recovered. Thank goodness.
Recovered.
We didn't die, chat.
The illness was relentless and stubborn, tossing you between feverish heat and bone-chilling cold. The first few nights, you woke drenched in a sticky, foul-smelling sweat, trembling with an unshakable chill. Your loyal servants carefully guarded your rest, ensuring no reports or disturbances reached your chambers. Somehow the kingdom's affairs managed to resolve themselves without your direct involvement. Finally, on the 7th morning, a sense of relief washed over you. The fever had broken, your breathing eased, and the heavy weight of the sickness began to lift.
Time to get back to work. Even though the kingdom probably fared better in that week without us intervening or making decisions, we're going to get back to work immediately. Oh, we lost 2 initiative because we were ill.
A whole week bedridden, losing the most precious commodity, time. Still, all's well that ends well. Though luck was on your side this time, next time it may not be.
Yeah, I think that's an RNG roll, guys. I think you, without the physician or the doctor, it's just a pure roll if you survive or not.
Pawnbroker. In the western village of Padiak, an event occurred that chilled the blood of all who heard of it. A peasant named Rasko, driven into a corner by poverty and desperation, sought relief by borrowing money from the local moneylender. This decision proved fatal for 3 people. His creditor, Smirda Islid, known throughout the region as the Old Usurer, relentlessly pressured Rasko for weeks, leaving him with no hope of salvation. Smirda's sister, Anna, lived with her, a quiet and submissive woman, little more than a shadow of her domineering sibling. On a dark night, as if nature itself wished to conceal the madness about to unfold, Rasko gripped a heavy axe in his trembling hands. What occurred in Eyelid's home that night was described by the village elder with such detail that it left some women who heard it pale and faint. The following morning, Rasko, tormented and broken, turned himself in, His confession was cold and detached, as if he were recounting someone else's tale. News of the double murder spread like wildfire across the kingdom. It seemed Rasco's fate was sealed, a direct path to the gallows. However, the jury, seeing him as a victim of circumstance and believing he was not of sound mind, sentenced Rasco to ecclesiastical penance in one of the distant Luminite monasteries. People whispered many had hated the old usurer, though they pitied the meek Anna. Among the aristocracy, a storm of outrage erupted. Smerda was part of their circle, and such a lenient punishment cast doubt on the integrity of the court. Representatives of the nobility demanded true justice, warning that relations between the aristocracy and the crown might suffer greatly otherwise.
I think that person probably shouldn't have been called Smurder. I think they deserve to get murdered for that. Okay, so you can execute him. It is the only way to deal with murderers. Or the court has passed its verdict. It is now not subject to review. Let the light of Lumilai heal his tormented soul. Or, judging by what people say, he rid our society of a vile creature, Smurder. Release him immediately. Releasing him immediately will piss everyone off because we're turning over the court's verdict and we're also not aligning with the aristocracy. Option 2 is court has passed its verdict. Yeah, that'll piss off the aristocracy. Basically do nothing again. Yeah, just accept the verdict of the court. Well, I mean, we have to. We can't be like an unlawful king, can we? We can't just like go around murdering whoever we want because they've done something. Well, we can. We're the king, but we have to respect the court's orders, don't we? Yeah, I'll go with number 2. Let's let the court rule. That way we're not really making a decision. We can just say to people, "Hey, my hands are tied. It's the law."
The church greatly valued your trust in their principles, and the court, made up predominantly of commoners, admired your resolve to stand up to the nobility. The aristocracy, of course, was displeased. However, you cannot please everyone. You will only hurt yourself.
What was that random laugh at the end? Cool. So you got +1 in the end. Yeah, +1. The commoners absolutely love us at this point. The aristocracy must hate us. And the church is +1 now, isn't it? I don't know. We need that informer.
The sharp blade and the chamber pot.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
Night had cloaked the castle in thick darkness. You awoke unexpectedly, stirred by the uncomfortable fullness of your bladder. The evening had been long, marked by an abundance of tea.
We're even with the church?
You
Okay.
to drink so much
That's
over
good, because we're
reading
probably
old
going to
books.
need
Rising from your warm
a funeral
bed,
in
you
a
felt
minute.
the chill of the stone floor against your bare feet. The chamber pot, truly one of humanity's greatest inventions. You paused to listen to the sounds of the castle, usually silent in these pre-dawn hours. But tonight something disturbed that stillness. A faint noise like the flutter of a moth's wings caught your attention. Your first thought was of Alestra, once again choosing her own time to visit your balcony. But no, the sound came from the opposite side of the room. Carefully rising from the pot, you cast a quick glance toward the source of the noise. Moonlight spilling through the narrow window slits outlined the shape of a dark male figure. A man, cloaked in black, stood motionless. His face was obscured beneath a hood, but the gleam of a long blade reflecting the silver light of the moon made his intentions clear. His hesitation was likely due to the surprise of seeing you, stark naked, clutching a chamber pot in your hands. You have but a few moments to decide your next move.
Oh shit, chat, the aristocracy have sent a murderer assassin in to fucking take our lives, probably. Okay, so we've got 3 options. Let's see how tough you are. Chamber pot, attack! We summon upon the might of the chamber pot to thwart our enemy. Or we call the guards for help. We don't have option 3, unfortunately, because we don't have the King's Royal Guard. We can't get the guard to rally to them. Lance reckons guards. I don't know. I think if we call the guards, it'll be too late. Either could be death, exactly. Either could be death. If we attack him with a chamber pot, he could easily just, like, just kill us in battle because he's got a sword and we've got a chamber pot. And we lost that duel as well, so not even the most like capable of warriors. If we like, gods, help me, then it could easily be like, oh, you tried to run away and find your guards, but it took you too long. The assassin caught up and stabbed you in the butt. That kind of thing. So I don't know, it's 50-50 again for me, chat. You think top, Sebdonian? Sebdonian wants to take him on with a chamber pot. We could coin toss again if you want. Church says to attack. Oh yeah, good point. Well said. Actually, that's a good point, Lance. That could have been a prelude to this situation happening. Like, it could have been like a wink or a nudge to encourage you to attack when you have the opportunity to do so. And it says he's hesitating as well. He's surprised by us, so we should take the initiative and take the advantage of him being surprised. Yeah, the church chess game. So while he's surprised, we could chuck the chamber pot in his face, cover him in our feces, and then grab the sword from his hand and ram it in his chest or something. All right, let's go for it. Chamber pot, attack. Uh-oh.
The pot bearer. Despite the timely arrival of reinforcements, saving you was impossible.
Oh dear.
You lay on the floor in your undergarments, an unmistakable blade protruding from your chest.
Oh god.
The scene was made all the more absurd by the chamber pot, standing stoically beside your lifeless body. Historians had no doubt when choosing the epithet by which you would be remembered. The pot-bearer king.
Yay. We did it, chat. We died with a chamber pot in our hands.
Death, conflicts erupted.
Someone's going to have to clean that up.
With every region becoming a hotbed of power struggles. The result of your short and inglorious reign was the complete collapse of a once mighty state.
Oh dear, chat. I think we got an assassin sent after us because our reputation with the nobles... Hang on, let's go to the main menu. Shut him up. Shut up, AI, shut up. I think our rep with the aristocracy got low enough that they were keen to send an assassin after us. Because I don't think we sided with the aristocracy once there, apart from when we met with them at the beginning. And that didn't even give us plus... rep with them. It just gave us a portrait of that old lady scowling down at us. We had -1 with the nobles. Yeah, I think it was something like that. New playthrough, build as fast as possible. Build what? The informant? I think so. I think it'll be really useful to know exactly what's going on with the different factions. But guys, I've been going for 2 hours. My voice is starting to get a bit hoarse, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you everyone who joined. Thank you Lance. Thank you Septonian for the engagement. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. We'll definitely do another run of this. Definitely do another. This is really good fun. And it's kind of chaotic and silly and goofy. So the wife says hi. Say hi back for me, Lance. She was listening in the whole time. She was the one who came into my chambers and killed me with a chamber pot. Yeah, no worries. Say hi from me, Lance. Appreciate that. I'll try to see you next time. Yeah, Septonian, good to have you back, man. Good to see you again. Yeah, we're going to be doing another stream of this at some point. I'm doing quite a lot of streams. I'm juggling quite a lot of streams at the moment. But as you know, it's the Steam Next Fest starting tomorrow morning. So there's tons of demos and tons of new content coming out. So there's going to be quite a lot of playthroughs going up. Lots of demos and lots of varying content on the channel over the next week. And then we'll carry on playing the games that we're really enjoying and that turn out to be really good. So we might have a lot of playthroughs going on for the next couple of weeks, but they'll thin out towards the end of mid-March kind of thing. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. I do hugely appreciate it. Be sure to smash that like button on your way out if you've had a good time and you want to share that sentiment with the rest of the Special Legion. I hope you all have a terrific day wherever you are in the world, or night if you're getting to rest. Have some good sleep. And I will see you all on the next stream. If not, I'll try and catch you in some other content I produce. I try and make content every single day now. So, Sal, wait till next time.